Hey guys, welcome to today's episode. So right up front, I just want to tell you that my audio is having some issues right now. So if the audio is not so good in this episode, you'll know why. Talk to you about influence, more particularly what's going on right now with Donald Trump finishing up his presidency and Joe Biden coming in. Everything going on at the Capitol with what happened. I'm sure you've all heard about it all around the world. And more particularly, I want to talk about the two opposing sides and how they interact on social media. Because I see so many people trying to convince the other side of their position and why the other side is wrong. And in this episode, I want to talk to you about influence and why it's always a bad idea to try and externally persuade someone over to seeing things from your point of view, because rarely does it work if you just try and do it through facts, figures, and telling them they are wrong. Now, I'm sure you'll agree with me, the two opposing sides, they are about as far opposite as you can possibly imagine, and many of them are quite extreme, both on the Democratic side and the Republican side. And to me, it's entertaining to me to watch the two sides go at each other on social media, because I know many people, and I'm on good terms with many people who are on one side and also on the other side. So it's fascinating to me to see how fixated they are in their beliefs, which that's fine, that's what they believe. But to then see them try and tell the other side, often it's also people we both know and we're mutually on good terms with, but to tell them how wrong they are. And I see this often, but people in my former industry that I used to be in who were good friends are now very divided over this. They've had their entire friendships severed because of what's been going on and just how much they disagree with one another. Here's the thing, if you ever get into an argument with someone and you're convinced that you're right and they are wrong, they're so wrong they don't even know how far they are wrong, and you want to tell them that, so you start pointing out why their argument is flawed, how it doesn't make sense, it's not based on facts, they're delusional, whatever it is, but you start telling them why they're wrong and how wrong they are. How often is that effective in getting them to say, oh, you know what, you're right. Yeah, you're completely right. I agree with you and I was wrong. It never works like that. And yet that's what most people do. When they get into an argument or a debate, or they just want to influence someone from seeing things from their perspective, they try and externally persuade that person by telling them they're wrong, and it never, ever works. One of the greatest influencers or persuasive people that I ever met, I met this person about 10 years ago, and they were incredible at sales. They were so far beyond anything I'd ever seen, and they made a lot of money because they were so good at what they did. Now, this isn't a sales lesson, but this person was, in my mind, one of the most influential people when it came to selling someone on doing something that they initially maybe didn't think of as an option, but this person was able to do it. And one of the biggest lessons this person taught is that if you ever want to persuade someone or influence them to do something, the most effective way was to ask open-ended questions, designed, very, very carefully chosen questions, designed to get that person to uncover needs or wants or things that they hadn't initially thought about, and verbalize their answers, and in doing so, persuade themselves. Because if you try and persuade someone to do something by just telling them why it's a good idea to do it, or why they should see things from your point of view, why they're wrong about Donald Trump, or why they're right about Donald Trump, whatever it is, you're externally trying to persuade them. It's never effective. Yet if you use this method, and it's called the Socratic method, or the Socratic method of dialogue, Google it, but by asking the right questions, this can be incredibly effective at convincing someone to see things from your point of view. Now, very soon, Strive is going to be offering a negotiation course. Now, this is going to be a 30-lesson course. One of the best negotiators that I've ever met, someone who practices exactly what I just said, is going to come here to our studios. They're going to be filming a 30-lesson course in the next month. And I'm looking forward to this lesson, because negotiation, becoming a better negotiator, becoming more influential or more persuasive, these are skills which they will impact your entire life in all different areas, relationships, in your career, even with your kids, in all interactions. So this is a course that's going to be offered to Strive members. If you're not yet a member of Strive, you want to become a member, you're going to get access to all of our online courses. You can get a 7-day free trial by going to strivecourses.com. No risk, check it out for 7 days. And if you love it, you remain a member. If you don't, just let me know, send me an email, and you won't be billed a cent. Okay, so check that out, strivecourses.com. That's it from me today, and I'll see you tomorrow.